those of you that wanna know what we're all about, it's like this, yo. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Alright, what's up YouTube? I got a bout here against Kimbo from Purple Surge, and he's going to start out with a Breloom, and I'm going to use my Uxie, which is the lead. And I was playing around with my camera because I wanted it to be exactly perfect, but yeah. I switch out, go into my Torkoal for some walling skills, and he goes for the Focus Punch, which I expected because he's hiding behind his sub. He might as well go for it. So I go for the Lava Plume, and hits me with the Focus Punch, and it does a really nice amount of damage. It's decent, but I know I can live another hit. Yeah, I'll live another hit. So he goes into his Salamence, and I knew he would switch out, so I go for the Stealth Rock. So that's pretty good. I can break some sashes already. And I go into my wall. Now this is my special defense wall, and I know I can take any hit that's offensive either way, like physically. And I didn't put any defense EVs in it, and it took that Earthquake like it's nothing. Now I predicted that switch, so I go for the Zen Headbutt, and he's down. He thought I would go for the Thunder Wave, and I predicted that, so I go for the Zen Headbutt instead. And it was a crit. I'm not sure if it was helpful or not. Brings out his Tangrowth, and those things are so annoying. I go for the knockoff, and he seeds me up. So that's not a good idea, and I'm going to have to switch out. Unless I stay in trying to go for the Thunder Wave. Okay, I switch out. I go into my Salamence, Infamous, and I want him to think that I have Fire Blast, so that's why I go into him. And he knocks off my Life Orb, so I'm like, that is not looking good for me right now. I need to rely on that orb. And he brings out his Registeel, so I Meteor him, and you know, Steel and Dragon types don't mix well, and it does garbage damage, and he already seeded me, so it's basically like nothing happened. And I'm gonna have to switch out, and I go back into my Uxie, expecting him to go for like a Thunder Wave, but he goes for a Stealth Rock, which is cool. At least I can just waste off some sleeping turns. And he brings back his Tangrowth, which is, yeah, it's another good move on his part. Like, this guy's awesome. And he seats me up again, so what I'm thinking right now, I need to wake up really quickly so I can yawn him. So let me just waste off the sleep turns and not switch out or anything. Goes for a knockoff, and he's trying to stall me out, knocking off my lefties. I wake up. Now I'm going for the yawn. And this is a good part that he tried to do, but it screwed him over. Now, I'm going to go for the U-turn. And I'm switching out and going into my Torkoal. And look what he tries to do. He goes for a Sleep Powder, but he misses. I'm like, wow, that's pretty big. Like, he risked that. He stayed in. Tried to go for the Sleep Powder, but it missed, and he went to sleep on that same turn. And I expected him to switch out into his Chansey, so I explode on it, so I don't have to worry about any special defense walls, and I'm just proud of that. Like, this Torkoal is known for just wiping out Blissies and stuff. Like, I laugh every time I use it. It used to be my signature Pokemon. And I bring out my Uxie just to see what else he wants to do. And what's he go for? Yeah, he goes for a Draco Meteor, but he misses. I'm like, wow. So I knock off, and he had a Choice Scarf. So now I'm thinking, all right, my Ments can be on top of the game now because I can outspeed it. So let me bring out my Ments, and I'm not trying to predict. So I'm gonna go for the obvious Draco Meteor. I really should have went for the Brick Break, but it's whatever. Go for the Draco Meteor. Because I think I still have my Rocks up. Either way, Salamence is going to be taking some damage every time he switches in or out. And now I go for the Brick Break because I figure This Mints can't really do anything anymore because of its low HP. So he T-waves me, and I'm going to stand for fodder regardless. So he goes for the Ice Punch, and I'm down. Yep. And I'm going to bring out my Suicune, and I'm going to predict him to go to like Mints or something like that. Go for the Hydro Pump, and he Thunder Waves me, which isn't a big deal because at least I can wall. And I was really expecting him to switch out right here, like into his Mints. So I go for a Calm Mind, just so I can get some special defense boost up and special attack. And he goes for the Ice Punch, which isn't doing anything. And now that's when I go for the Ice Beam, expecting that Salamence. And I was like, I could have KO'd him if I went for that Hydro Pump. But he goes for an Explosion the next turn, and I'm definitely down because this is my offensive Suicune. It doesn't have Rust, Sleep Talk, nothing. Not even Roar. So I'll bring out my Regigigas just to scout out, see what he has. He goes for the Mints. And this is when I figure he's going to Meteor me or go for the Outrage. And let me stay in, try to get some turns wasted on the thing. And I go for the Zen Headbutt, and I miss. And to be honest, that's what I wanted, because I was thinking when I did the move, I need it to miss so I can stay in, and I don't want to KO him because I was fearing that. I didn't want to KO the Salamence. Now, I know he's going to have to switch out because either he wants to risk being hit or me going for a Sword Stance, which is free. Switches out, I hit my free Sword Stance, and I go for the U-turn. And luckily, this is my last Pokemon, so my Sword Stance stays intact, and I'm still in play. Now he brings out his Mints to get some Intimidate going on, but I know for sure I'm going to KO him with my Bullet Punch. And I really like this Scissor's name because they're a pretty good group. Yeah, if you guys didn't know that. It's a group, like Screamo kind of thing. But this is when it all comes down to the final match. Like, I see he doesn't have an orb, so he's obviously banded. And I'm looking at the HPC, how much damage I can get on him, and it's looking pretty bad for me. And I go for the U-turn, and I go all the way down to 1 HP, which is epic. And I get the first hit, so that's down. Good game, dude. Comment, rate, subscribe. Catch you guys later. It's a draw. Peace.